Hello everyone, my name is Bruno Tripodi. I'm a creative technologist and a new media artist, and I currently work at Vitamin Studio, and I also develop personal projects focused on interactive and immersive visuals. You can find me on Instagram as Bruno Tripodi _ and in this video I'm going to show you a TouchDesigner tool that I built also with Jana Talks and Pablo Alper, all of us part of Vitamin Studio, and it's to make it easier to develop visual for immersive rooms. So we built this for a project from the studio where we had to work with a real immersive room, and the goal was to make it as flexible and user-friendly as possible. So before we get into how it works, I'm going to show you the final result. So you can see what this tool actually helped us achieve. And these are some clips and photos from a real immersive room project where we use it. And this tool takes a 3D environment and helps you map it to a 2D surface, similar to how nDisplay works in Unreal Engine. And with this tool, everything becomes much easier when working in immersive environments. And it helps you organize your walls, control perspective correctly, and export clean outputs without rebuilding your setup every time. You can find the tool in the link below in the description or through the link in my Instagram profile. So let's jump into it. First, I'm going to delete the talks. This is the talks, so we can start from scratch. So here you can see that I already have a full chain set up with pops. It's a normal chain with a normal render, with their corresponding lights and cameras. And now to start using the talks, it's as simple as dragging it from your desktop or from your palette directly from TouchDesigner. I have it here. I'm gonna drop it. So yes, the first thing we'll see is how the index of each wall appears in the immersive room. But before looking at that, we need to adjust a few things. So the first step is setting the wall resolution. So here we have wall 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. I divided them into short walls and long walls. Here are the short and then the long, but you can put it whatever you want. And once you enter the resolution for each type of wall, you'll see that the floor resolution links automatically. So next in these wall measurements, you have to adjust like the room dimensions. These values are meant to be entered in meters, and this allows you to fit the visuals perfectly to any space you are working with. So you can change the width and the height of the room depending on your project's needs. And it's very flexible, so you can experiment and see how your visuals behave in different spatial proportions. Now, once everything is adjusted, we can go to the Visual Type tab, and if we click here, Geometry Viewer, we we can see that our immersive room is added into our 3D environment. And this works because here we have these 5 subs that appear when you press the geometry button pulse, and are the 4 walls and the floor. So now we can move around and see what's happening on each wall and on the floor. And what's happening is that our cameras are capturing what's outside and projecting it into the walls. So yeah, and this is exactly how it will look later in the real immersive room. So here with this 3 option, wall index, 3D and 2D, we can decide how we want to visualize the immersive room in the panel. So if we put the 1, we can see that we are looking at the 3D view, and we can see here in the panel how the immersive room looks with everything projected cleanly onto the walls and floor. So yeah, we can also change the background color. You can play with it. And this is also where we decide which geometry and which lights we want to appear in our projections. For example, here we don't want to render things, and then take it out, or simply put the geometries that you want to choose, like for example only the 5. So you can see that you only render the lines, and the same with the light. And then here we can switch to the 2D environment, but first thing that to check is this area here, that based on the resolution that we defined at the beginning, it tells us exactly the resolution of each wall and floor. And for example, here in this ramp, the links alone, because I do it before, you have to like take here the resolution and reference it to the ramps. The same for the floor. Okay, and then you need to link here the walls and the floor. And now if you put here 2, you can visualize your 2D visuals on the walls on the floor. And here we can see how our immersive room behaves when working only with tops. And in this last section here control also the panel background. We can change it. Yes. And here in the camera section, I'm gonna come back to the 3D environment. You can move the display. You can see it better here in the 3D, up or down, or wherever you want. You can also scale it. You can play with the fog. This is really fun because you can make like interesting things. Maybe you can animate here the fog and make appear or your environment. This is so playful, so you need to only make things with that. You can take off the auto rotate. I like to work without the auto rotate, but this is your choice. And you can also play with the perspective. This is my favorite part of these talks, because in my experience, when working with 3D environments directly inside TouchDesigner, we usually had an issue like the perspective felt like it was like tilting upward, especially when you are standing like in the middle, in the center of the room. So now with this tool, we can properly like adjust the perspective. And this value here match like perfectly in how immersive environments are exported from Unreal Engine, and it works very well. So that's why it's the default value. So I recommend it to put it like this, but of course you can experiment and adjust it however you like. And yes, and here in the final export section is where you can render your project. Here you find the different export types available. You can link the audio if your visual needs to sync with sound. There is also a limit length option, which links to your TouchDesigner timeline duration, but you can disable it and simply enter the length that you want. And you can also rename each wall individually, and which is very helpful when working on large projects. And I really like using the reset timeline, because it allows me to calculate exactly how long my animation will be. So I like to like stop TouchDesigner, reset the timeline, press record, and then start. So now I have more control of how much time I will export the visuals. And the records are saved automatically to the folder where your Touch file is stored in your computer. Yes, I think that's basically how the Touch works. Designed to be flexible and user-friendly and ready to integrate into any immersive room project. And yes, I think that's all. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach me out. I'm always happy to answer. And if you create something using these talks, please tag me on Instagram as Bruno Tripodi _ and I love to see what are you making. So I hope you enjoyed and have fun exploring immersive visuals. Bye bye.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you like our YouTube content, I highly recommend you check out the Interactive and Immersive HQ Pro. The HQ Pro is the only comprehensive educational resource and community for immersive design, TouchDesigner, and creative tech pros. In the HQ Pro trainings, we cover almost any topic you can think of, and we go way more in depth than we do in our YouTube tutorials. We have a private